The next thing we're going to do is a new thing that we've been doing is featuring a member every month and giving a little highlight on a member. So Yuma is coming up and talk to you about our highlighted member of the month, Kate Mahn.
Okay, this is all about Kate Mahn. She's been with us for most of this year. Her life started out with lovely Irish Catholic parents, which informed her earliest development into the person she is today. She was one of 5 children, and they all attended parochial schools in South Bay area of San Francisco, where they lived, which would later become Silicon Valley. Her parents were both from upstate New York, and over the years, they would fly back to New York to see the parents, to see the family who was close to them. For the children, going there was akin to a Disneyland thrill, as there was so much love and care and interesting places to visit of historic and cultural value. From those experiences, she developed a travel bug to see new sights and cultures. In high school, a friend conceived a plan to travel to Europe. Wow, high school? They focused on graduating early, which allowed them time to work, earning enough money to fund the entire trip. They traveled to multiple countries and 9 months beginning in Ireland. Coming off such a fantastic year, they made another plan to tour New England in the fall on bicycles. And this was before lightweight biking materials. And they did a grand loop in 8 weeks. Since the age of 12, she was always doing jobs to earn money, regularly babysitting, then working at a florist. And after her travel spell, she continued working and began college with studies in French and art history. She found a job at an art gallery where she met her husband, and she was 22 at the time. They married a year later, and this year they celebrate 45 years together. Celebrating 45 years. They brought up 2 beloved sons and starting their family life in the same Bay Area, then moved to Monterey, which I know pretty well. It's a beautiful area. And later to the Central Valley to be closer to their siblings and families. Plus, her parents migrated there too. As a family, they enjoyed beachcombing, hikes in the redwoods, camping, and were active in their church. At some point, with her son's interest in Japanese culture, they tried training in traditional karate. They started with 2 nights a week and became hooked, then joined a Saturday session as well. By 5 years, they earned their black belts. Their children were in school, and she returned to college, this time for a business degree in accounting. Upon graduation, she worked at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in finance. Later, attracted to coast accounting, she worked mostly for food manufacturing plants and enjoyed the multidisciplinary attributes of each department and delighted in the way they all came together to produce a product for the marketplace. Her best contributions would happen after an introduction to a database design in the master's program, which she pursued after 10 years into her work life. Her specialty was the ability to combine data from unrelated subsystems to tell an integrated story of spending and its effects on the bottom line. In the Central Valley, her siblings cared for her parents in their old age, and her widowed mom lived with her for 6 years and then passed away at her home. She also became grandparents of 4 children. Her husband, working at home, was able to spend many hours during the work week with their grandchildren. Their home was the center of many family gatherings. It would be her husband who signaled to move to Florida. For some time, his friend from the Bay Area days encouraged them to relocate to Florida, where he lived in Stewart. They started looking there and they loved it, but they quickly found Stewart was experiencing high density growth like California, which they shunned. They found a house at Christmas in 2018 in the Lake Como area, surrounded by nature. They have a level of fulfillment unknown before. They love the beauty and quiet of Putnam. Immediately, they were thrilled by the incredible wildlife and natural diversity of the area. In California, they would have traveled to Big Sur or Yosemite to see the kind of wildlife you see right here in your backyard, such as American bald eagle. She loves the changing weather, the butterflies, larvae, exquisite colorful spiders, beautiful beetles, colorful snakes, bird life, and deer, plus ever-changing wildflowers at close hand. Then when they moved into their house, they had to relearn gardening for Florida and accused the U of F extension website, accessed the U of Florida extension website and books. They started with gardening for pollinators, which then led to gardening with native plants. 2 years later, they purchased an avocado tree, which then led to gardening with native plants. 2 years later, they started a new interest in Florida food forestry, or permaculture, learning about the multiple layers of plant life that generate soil quality and microclimates. That is symbolic to wildlife and sustains plant life cycles, and that's fascinating to her. She's learning from a younger age group who are generous-hearted for their information, sharing, and who are testing new methods of reintroducing ancient ones. Engaging in this cycle of life makes for an inspiring time in their lives, and she credits the beauty of this unique state and people here for making it so. Kate Mahn, stand up.
Turn around, and Bob's going to take a picture of you guys together. Thank you so much. So Kate's bio is going to go on our next newsletter, and so please look for that. And when we tap you to please let us tell your story in the coming months, please say yes. What we're going to do